I meant to play another opening after this, but that's okay. They don't need it.
Okay.
I'm so used to having them connected together. I'm sitting
Okay.
here waiting. I'm like, yeah, it's got that. So now let me play the intro I made for you. Timon Kyle Durrett is an actor, an author, an artisan, and a 2026 Daytime Emmy nominee, whose career has taken him from memorable roles like David West on Queen Sugar to his current role as Bill Hamilton on CBS's Beyond the Gates. But beyond the characters and the camera is a man with many layers, a thinker, a creator, and a lifelong student of what it means to truly know yourself. His book, Who the Hell Do I Think I Am, explores how our thoughts, choices, and self-perceptions shape the lives that we create. Today, we meet the man behind the characters, explore his journey, and of course, get inside the mind of the complicated Bill Hamilton. So please help me welcome to the So What You Think channel, Mr. Timon Kyle Durrett. Thank you very much, first of all, for agreeing to do this. I'm so very thrilled.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
my channel is a small one, so you have no way of knowing that I defend Bill fiercely over here. They all know they are not allowed to talk about Bill or they get the video and they and they'll say, I don't care, put the
That's
video on
right.
me. I'm like, okay, you asked for it.
Right. You leave Bill alone.
Yeah, that's what I always say. Look, even though I know Bill ain't worth a doggone, I would rather defend Bill than get into the cat Eva thing that they got going. That's just taking off a life of its own.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it has. Um, so let's talk about how you got into acting. I know I heard something. So a lot of times I know that some things that you see or hear may or may not be true. So feel free to correct me. But
Mm.
one of the things that I remember seeing or hearing is that your mom is the reason why you got into acting.
Yeah. You know, and after high school and then years after that, I started to, get more of an interest in television and film. It just excited me. I just didn't know how to do it. I don't come from an acting background, theater, film, television. No one else in my family does it. And my mom just happened to be at home and she heard a radio announcement on 107.5 WGCI, local radio
Oh
station.
yeah.
So, for those who don't
Oh
know,
yeah.
GCI. And she wrote it down and it said, if you want to try out for a movie, because at the time I called it a tryout. I didn't know audition. I didn't know what it was. So she said, you want to go try out for this movie? It's shooting downtown. And then I heard the radio announcement again. And she said, this is the announcement. It said, if you want to go down, if you want to get on this movie, made for television movie, starring Oprah Winfrey, come on down and try out and see what happens. So I took the bus and the train and went down there, the red line, took the L downtown. And I forgot exactly what the location was, but I went and they just wanted to take my picture and they asked me if I had any experience. I said no. It was my first time ever doing anything like that. And I got a little background role. I didn't have any lines, but I uh I was on set and I got to see all the moving parts because it was nothing like I thought. I
Okay.
didn't know it was that much equipment, that many people. Because when I got there, I was like, what is this?
Hmm.
And I didn't really ask a lot of questions. I just realized, oh, this is what it is. And I just found it very interesting. And
Okay.
and then when I saw myself on TV, I just thought it was cool, and that's when the bug bit me. I said, I want to go after this. I want to try it. So yeah, I can thank my mom for that because that was my first experience on any set at all ever.
What do you think your mom saw in you that said you should be you have siblings?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I'm
what did
number,
she
I'm
see
number
in
six
you?
out of eight.
Oh, you're number 6 out of 8, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, my mom, well, I was always very creative, expressive. I would tell these stories. I'm an artist as well, so I would, create my own little comic books. I always like storytelling. Even
Mhm.
Mr. Victor Rigoni, my fifth and sixth grade teacher, would allow me to do puppet shows on Fridays, 30 minutes before school let out, just because,
Mhm.
the other my classmates, they just like how I brought these little puppets that I had to life, a Kermit the Frog puppet and a little monkey puppet that hangs on you around your neck. I had one of
Okay.
those. And I've always been fascinated by good storytelling. And my mom, she would tell me just how she thought I was always so funny and creative and silly with different stories that I'd come up and she's like, where do you get all this stuff from? I'm like, oh, it's all up here, Mom. And I think she saw that, maybe that would be something that he would like to do since he's been so expressive about it. We just didn't know. So she saw the creativity in me and the desire to entertain.
Mhm.
And I thank her for that, listen to the
Yeah.
radio every day.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. I'm a singer. My first
Mhm.
time singing, I was 16, I think it was, and I told my mother I was gonna sing, and she was like,
Right,
excuse me?"
right.
Because she's very much that parent that would tell you, "Baby, that's not your ministry. That's not," so she was happily shocked in the end of it all, let's just say. So, but it's nice that
Good.
your mom saw that. Yeah, she saw it first in you.
Yeah.
Um I remember hearing you talk about how when you got the when you I think this was for the role of Queen Sugar, that you walked away and affirmed for yourself the entire time, "I'm gonna get this role. I am that role. This is my role." Was there
Mm.
a moment though that you had, and I'm thinking about your book and asking this question, was there ever a moment when you had moments of self-doubt, or were you able to clearly keep that affirmation for yourself?
Yeah, the doubt came in. It wasn't self-doubt. Well, I guess you could say it was self-doubt. I wasn't doubting myself,
Mhm,
but I for a minute I doubted my chances because after I had auditioned, I test read with Ava DuVernay in Los Angeles, and then it came back. I was living in Atlanta at the time, and my agent called me several times, just keeping me, in the loop about what was going on. And she mentioned that they were auditioning other guys for the role of Davis, and I didn't even have to see a picture. She was naming names that I knew who these people were, like
mhm,
more prominent actors than myself. And so I got to thinking, oh man, my chances. I don't know if I have a chance. And I said, you know what? No, no. And I just said it. I said, I don't care who they're reading.
mhm,
Ava DuVernay doesn't see anyone other than me playing the role of Davis West in Queen Sugar. And
mhm,
I was going through a lot,
mhm,
Miss Jen. And I was broke. I was broken. I was just not in a good place. And when I
mhm.
tell you I was broke,
You was broke.
I was broke.
Okay.
Uh, but broken down, like I just, everything I was doing just wasn't really working. And I said, you
Mhm,
know what? No, I couldn't really drive my car because I couldn't afford to get it fixed so it can pass the smog check. I had one officer friendly enough to tell me, hey man, your tags are expired. I said, yeah, I know, it's gotta go over here. Then I was riding my bike around when I couldn't drive my truck. I got a flat tire. I couldn't even afford to fix the tire. I had to sell my
mhm,
bike just to, keep things going and make ends meet, buy groceries, things like that. And I would have to walk everywhere. I had to walk to my bank. I had to walk to the post office. I had to walk to the grocery store, walk to the gym. I was just
mhm.
walking everywhere. So as I walked, I'm going to put my headphones on so people don't think I'm crazy. And I just spoke it. I just kept saying that one mantra over and over and over again. I don't care who they're reading. Ava DuVernay doesn't see anyone other than me playing Davis West and Queen Sugar thousands of times a day. And then one day, after my audition, it
Mhm.
took 5 weeks and 6 days. I got a phone call from Ava, and she basically told me, "Congratulations, you have the role." And I thought it was the thanks, but unfortunately call because she said that she likes to or tends to work with actors who had been to some sort of art school, acting school, or taken acting classes. And I told her, I said I hadn't done any of that.
Mhm.
I just do it. I didn't have any background other than the work that I had done. And she said, "Well, aside from that, I don't see anyone but you playing the role of Davis West and Queen Sugar." And she said what I had been saying over and over and over. I'm getting the chills right now. I remember how when she said that, I said, "This is what I'm going to do moving forward. Whatever I want, I'll visualize it. I'll keep speaking. I won't stop speaking it until I get it." And I did that all the way up to the day that evening that she called me.
Wow. So when you finally got the call, I'm sure you were like, "What? Now
Blew
what?
blew my mind, man.
N Now what?"
Right.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
what? So you didn't start out with a lot of formal training. Did you finally go and get training?
No. I
Okay.
In Los Angeles, a friend of mine, he was an aspiring actor. I had done a little something. I booked like Mike, like not even a year after I got to LA when I moved to LA in 2001. Um, and I just wanted to, it was the thing in the early 2000s to, go to acting class and get all these things going. I couldn't afford to participate in the class, and the only one that would I could afford the entry fee, the first session, which is all I could afford. I just sat in it, and it was just an introductory class to acting, and it was just what I had already experienced, and I just audited the class, but it wasn't anything that I didn't already know or experience. So that was the only thing that I did. I just sat in on the class and just watched. I didn't really, it wasn't, like I say, it was people who had never done anything. He talked about auditions and how to stand. And if you were in theater, this is the fourth wall, technical things that I had already known, but never really put into practice. So that, other than that, no, I don't have any formal acting training. Didn't go. I went to a general education high school, junior college, and college. I didn't do any of the arts in any of those phases of my education. So yeah, I just went and did it.
Well, it does not show, but I'm
Right.
wondering when you're side by side with people that have had all this extensive training and they're huge stars or whatever. Was there ever a time where you felt like intimidated by that, and in the back of your mind you're thinking, I don't have what they have?
No, I wasn't intimidated. I was more. It's like the night before the big game.
Mhm.
You're ready for it. It's just there's that good angst to it, that anxiety, that nervous energy, not doubt. It's just like, hey, I am intent on holding my own with this juggernaut, whoever they may be. I did a movie called 72 Hours in Chicago, and with Harry Lennox, and I've always admired his work, like his countenance and how he delivers. And when I got there, I wasn't afraid, but I was more. It just galvanized my resolve more to do a good job because this guy, in my opinion, he's excellent, and I wanted to match that excellence. So when I'm on camera with people who've had, have done far more projects and have, vastly more success than I have, um, I want to rise to the occasion and step up and do my thing too.
You don't want to fail.
Nah. Well, no, it's not that I
Not an
don't want
option.
to fail. I
Not an
don't
option.
speak negative. It's not that I don't want
Yeah.
to fail. I intend to succeed.
Yeah. You want,
That's
yeah,
what it is.
always going in with doing the best job that you
Yeah.
can.
Fear is not that doesn't even, it doesn't cross my mind when I go on set. I never think of, oh, I'm afraid that I'm going to mess up. No, that's counterintuitive. It's
Mm.
not productive for me. I focus on what I want. I'm going to do exceptionally well. I'm going to do the best that I can. There is no failure here. There's no fear here for me.
I was going to ask you something else, but this leads me to ask you something else I was going to ask you later. Seeing
Mm.
that you're a person who has done so much work on self-reflection and stuff like that, how does that um how does that affect you, like choosing a mate or somebody you're dating? If they don't speak this same kind of language, does that is that kind of like, I can't, you know?
No, well, I mean, I am in a relationship. My girlfriend, she's very in tune with who and how she is. She's very good at
Mm.
what she does, and we vibe because I found someone who can. I know, so I know I can be a bit of a fire breathing dragon with certain situations, and she can calm the flame, if you will. You know,
Mhm.
she knows how to not add more fuel to my fire. She can,
Mhm.
calm me down. Now, I'm not saying I'm a hothead or anything, but with
No.
certain things, I can just be very direct, and
Mhm.
sometimes it can be misconstrued as aggression, and it's not.
Mhm.
Um, it's like if you have a big dog at home and it barks, it's just
Mhm.
trying to get your attention, but it's still a big, loud bark. And
Right.
So for someone who's not used to that, they might think, oh, he's angry or he's aggressive. Like, no, just this is how I sound. I'm just getting your attention. Just to give a crude example or an analogy. But my self-reflection lets me know there's one thing that I've learned, um, and I have this in my book. There is one person you can't lie to, and that's yourself. And
Yeah, I
there were
read
times
that.
I tried to, and even if I tried to, I knew that I was lying. So I wasn't lying to myself because I knew. And my self-reflection, self-worth, all this internal work is I want to be the best person that I can be, no matter who I'm interacting with. I'm not this the best version of myself for myself. Because if I was just the only person in the world, I wouldn't have to be like anything. You know,
Mhm.
I like to look at it as doing my mental, spiritual, social, emotional inventory. What is my
Mhm.
constitution? And if I were someone else, would I want to spend time with with me, how I am, and
Mhm.
me being honest with myself, knowing how I am and not lying to myself, being honest and open about who I am with someone else. Would that person want to be around or with me? And there was a
Mhm.
time in my life, and I thought I wouldn't date myself right now.
Mm.
I'm just very honest with myself. But that self-reflection helps me to um and not just in my relationship, but just in interpersonal relationships, period. People that I
Mhm.
work with, neighbors, old friends from back home, just different people, family members. I choose to be the best version of myself, whether they can take it or not.
Okay.
Because some people,
Okay. You don't water that down for anybody.
nah,
Right.
no, I'm not
Mhm.
diluting anything. This is who and how I am. You know, I don't like black licorice, but someone does.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
I may be an acquired taste for some people, but
Mhm.
in most cases, I think I'm a pretty cool guy.
Mhm.
But I'm very firm on certain things, especially when it comes to who and how I am and what I do and who I do it with, the company that I keep. The way that I do things is
Mhm.
very particular to some degree, in some regards. Like if I'm hanging out with friends, I can be just as goofy as the rest of them. Anyone on set can
Mhm.
tell you.
Yeah.
I'm nothing like Bill. I'm
I
the
know.
jokester, prankster. I'm the one telling corny dad jokes and things like that. I like to have fun. I don't take myself seriously, but I take my work seriously. But I'm not serious at work. I'm just serious about it.
Oh, okay. I love to tell a joke, Timon, but I my delivery of jokes is horrible.
No, well, you got to work on it. All you got to just find a cool dad joke and just read it.
I'm like, so then I'm explaining in the middle of it. I'm like, let me just get to the point. Then I'm like,
Right.
child, you done lost the whole thing.
Oh no, you have to explain the jokes.
In your yes, I do. In your book, which I did have a chance to take a read through.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
At the end, you listed a bunch of qualities, and I had a question about this. Right, it's like kind of your last page where you said I'm strong, strong-willed, confident, assertive. You have a whole list of things. My
Mhm.
question that I was wondering was that something that you were offering to the readers to say to themselves, or is this what you, in the end of things, discovered that these are all the things that I know that I am?
It was both. These are the things that I know that I am, and I know that it's attainable for anyone who wants to do that self work.
Mhm.
It's just basically it's right in your face, honest assessment of oneself. And when I look at all those things, I know that I am those things, but those things also have to be cultivated.
Mhm.
I mean, before you have a garden, you have to have a seed. Right?
Right.
You have to have
Mhm.
the things that cultivate the seeds, and you have to have the elements that will help that thing that houses the seed to become what it needs to be. And if you're not nurturing all of these good qualities about yourself, you say, "Oh, I'm intelligent." Okay, well, how do you use that intelligence? I'm compassionate. With who? How? To what degree? I'm strong-willed. Strong-willed with what? And you have to do a very clear assessment. And I was very detailed in that because I was honest with who I was in writing that. And there were certain things that I was not at the time, and sometimes I am not. Like, uh,
So I was going to ask you, like, of all those things that you worked on, was there one that was the hardest for you to really crack and
yeah, one was patience,
patience? Okay.
and another one was the confidence. It's not that I was afraid of things. It's just sometimes I wasn't so sure of myself. You know, when you're sure, like you know your route to certain places. You can get in your car right now and drive to a place. You don't need GPS. You don't have to even pay attention. You know this route. You know that that's who you are. But other times when there are things that you're not sure of, you need a little bit of guidance. And if you don't have it, sometimes you can get lost.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people who I saw certain qualities in that I would talk to, but they didn't have other qualities. Like I have a
Mm-hmm.
friend of mine I went to college with. I won't say his name because I don't have permission, but very, very, I mean, love this guy. You know, is very
Mm-hmm.
true friend, very open and honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he had extreme patience on me and other people, and I did not have that. But there were times when he didn't have tolerance for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
By that, I mean, you can have patience with something that you
Mm-hmm.
tolerate, but if
Mm-hmm.
it's something that you don't tolerate, there's a degree of intolerance that you have to display. And I did not know how to do that. And oftentimes it built up a wall,
Mm-hmm.
and it seemed like I was just, being like a battering ram up against people because there were
Mm-hmm.
certain things that I did not understand. I didn't have the patience to understand my intolerance with this thing that really it wasn't that thing, it was me. And that it was it's, in all of these different qualities, it's an admix of things that helps me to have a better understanding. I hope I answered your question. I think I kind of
Mm-hmm.
went on the block a few times on that.
Yeah. No, 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 no. No, you did. Because you mentioned it was patience that you were trying to, that was one of the hardest things for you to like get a hold of. Um,
Mhm.
one of the things that you also mentioned in this list was that you were compassionate, polite, and gracious. And honestly, this is something that I'm going to have to say reads through about you in looking at interviews or if you are doing red carpet or whatever it is, you're very polite to people, very kind to people. Um, do you think that the people around you have had a lot to do with you developing that, like keeping you grounded?
Yeah, yeah, I will say I have some friends right now that they don't care about any of my accolades. They like,
Hmm.
man, you are just my nickname is Tree. I'm either Tim or Tree. Like you're
Hmm.
not a celebrity to us. And if I am as we say it, if I'm tripping, they'll
Hmm.
let me know. They'll say, hey man,
Yeah,
you okay, bro? You acting a little strange over there. What's up with that?
yeah, you
Yeah,
need that.
with time, I've grown into this person who can see it. I can be a self-correcting person, but after a while, you really learn what it is. Like I'm very gracious. I'm kind to people because I'm kind by nature, and I'm polite because it's just better that way.
Hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong, Jen. If you come at me wrong,
Oh,
you
that's different.
you may not get the best version of me.
Yeah, yeah.
You
If you ask for it, then here we go.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
I'm never just aggressively rude, but I have had some times where people came up and just were very rude and intrusive and insulting and even, like physically
Oh
so,
wow, wow.
touching me inappropriately, if you will. And, they learned yeah, I mean, when I say very inappropriately,
You mean like women or just
women
people? Oh
in
no.
public that I don't know, walking up and, I won't
Oh.
say on here, but yeah, very
Hmm.
inappropriate contact. Didn't even say hello. And they did not get the best version of me.
I'm sure they did
But I
not.
but but I did not go off. I just said, "Hey, listen." I didn't cuss them out. I just gave them a nice grandmother
You ain't
telling.
give them the Denzel, "Get your
Yeah,
hands
yeah,
off
"Get
of me."
your hands off me." No, I
Ooh.
didn't give them that, but sometimes it's just, you have to let people know, you know, who you really are without, for lack of a better word, I don't like people to feel like I was mean to them. Truth without compassion can seem brutal. And I just need people to understand, like, hey, there's a better way to do that. And
You
and I'm
know,
I'm
a
gonna
lot of
show you
times
that.
people don't think in terms of the men being objectified. Men are objectified too.
Yeah, yeah. And
People
and
cross
and
lines with you guys too.
all a lot so much. And
Mhm.
it's with my status and my stature, I don't want people to think that I'm this big mean bully. It's not that.
Mhm.
But I am a person. I
Mhm.
have feelings. I am I'm a human being just like you, and
Right.
I don't deserve disrespect and mistreatment, because I don't give it. I have not earned that. So
Right. So
that's
you're not
just me.
accepting that.
I would say 95.5% of the time people get a good version of me because I'm just, I'm just chilling. But again,
Mm.
if you're coming at me wrong, you're not going to get the best version of me.
Well, PSA for Timon, if y'all see him out there on the street, keep your hands off the man. Leave him alone. Don't do that.
I got great
Don't do
hearing. You could just come up and talk to me.
this
Hey,
man. This man got a woman, and even if he didn't, leave the man alone. Don't do the man like that.
hey, don't do me.
They need to know. They need to know. I think that's a good thing that your friends keep you grounded,
Mhm.
because I think that by the time you have someone around you that's always agreeing with you,
Yeah.
never challenges you, you don't have friends anymore.
Yeah, you just got a bunch of yes men, people who are there, not because of who you are and how you are, but because
Hmm.
of what you are to other people.
Yeah.
And there were a few people that they tried to treat me like a show pony, um, only reaching out when it was beneficial for them to show me off to their friends or
Oh.
asking me to do things that they didn't for the sake of just just very strange things that were never around or things that were never happening before.
Okay.
And I just tell them I'm not some sort of object that you can show off to people just when you feel like it's beneficial and convenient for you.
See, but being good looking is already half a curse. It's a blessing and a curse, Debbie. Now let's not act like it's not what it is.
Well, I'll say thank you for the compliment, and I
Yeah.
get that. It's you know, I can say I will say this. I understand the attention and sometimes the adoration because it's their appreciation for my work. And it could be on the other side. I could be some
Mhm,
famous criminal, and the
mhm,
attention I get is this disdain and this ire and this contempt, and I don't get that.
mhm.
Um, it's just that sometimes it can be a lot.
Yeah.
You go to the mail, go to the post office, go to the grocery store. You can be in traffic.
Mhm,
And someone's waving
mhm,
and swerving, and I'm like getting, I'm like, hey, what's up, y'all? And it's cool. I get that. I understand this for their appreciation of my work. Um, it's not a bad thing. Uh,
mhm,
just sometimes it just gets a little rocky sometimes, and I just gotta, get my bearings back and just kind of bring things back into alignment, even in interpersonal relationships and in public, and even with people that I don't know. It's just I like
mhm,
to, let's bring it right back here in this nice little cool little space.
mhm,
Things good.
mhm. I
Yeah,
was saying that about being an attractive person, especially as a man, because it makes me think about a friend of mine who's like you, 6 foot. You 6'6"?
6'5".
6'5", okay.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", very nice looking man. And what he hates more than anything is when women only see this and don't see his brain, because he's a very intelligent person. And
Mm.
he resents that. He just cannot
Yeah.
stand that.
I mean, and I get it. I mean, nobody really knows your intellect, your personality, your character traits until they talk to you. And that's why I say
Mhm.
just have a conversation
Yeah.
and instead of just coming up and accosting a person or just saying just strange things. It's I consider myself to be an intelligent person and I like intelligent and appreciable adult conversation. And it's refreshing when you get that. Sometimes you don't, but I like to bring it back around to that. And I understand by societal norms. I know what I look like, but I do my best if I can to make that at the very most secondary because that's my appearance. You can
Yeah.
have a vehicle that's got a nice paint job and nice tires, but the motor is messed up.
Right.
What's inside, I like for that to come out because a lot of people think that I'm like my characters, big and aggressive and mean. I'm like, no,
Mhm.
I'm not like that. I'm when I tell you I'm one of the biggest goofballs, like the little kids they like because I'm like a big, play teddy bear guy. But I also hold a level of integrity and discernment and uh, uh, a goodness about myself that I maintain just for the sake of me being true to who I am.
Okay.
Because sometimes women can objectify, but like I said, I like to take it upon myself to show them that I'm more than
No
just
more than that, yeah.
like it says is good.
Mhm. So let's talk about the character you're building in Bill, because I want to be cognizant of your time here.
Mhm.
So, and how you're building Bill, I have some questions.
Okay.
You look up a lot in the air.
Mhm.
Is that a tell for, is that like something Bill does, or is that something you're doing?
Well, it's a Timmons choice for a Bill's actions.
Okay.
By that I mean in a scene, Bill is and these are just things that I've come up with for Bill. I know that in the beginning, Bill was said to be a narcissist, aggressive, a bit brutish, if you will. But he's a thinker. I've made it to where Bill's a thinker. He's a planner. He looks for opportunities. He
Mhm.
uses what he has to get what he wants, and so he's constantly thinking of ways. But that's something that I may do sometimes. But I make sure that Bill's actions are similar but separate from mine,
Mhm.
because I mean it is me playing the character, so some of me is going to come out. But there are things that I do that are intentional, and that's one of them where Bill takes a moment and he
Mhm.
separates from the conversation and then comes back. It's something that
Okay.
I don't really do it like looking up in the air a lot. Yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes you have things that you want to do on camera, but you just don't want to do it too much.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
but what you said is what I had kind of taken from that. That I'm
Yeah,
like, I think when Bill does that, he's trying to think about what he's about to say. Like, I think he thinks before he speaks.
yeah. Well, for instance, in certain circumstances, when Bill is talking to Naomi and Chelsea,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
he can read them, they can read him. So
Mhm.
when he says stuff, he knows that with his highly intelligent daughters, that he has to put things a certain way to make sure things go a certain way.
Mhm.
And he has to do it in a time. It's like if, let's say, if you're in a car and you get to the corner, and before right at the corner, instead of before getting to the turn, someone tells you turn right here, but you're already there. That's going to be a sharp, hard turn if you decide to turn, and it's going
Mhm.
to be very noticeable. So what Bill does is he's methodical. He's strategic with his thoughts and his words, and that's
Mhm.
why he kind of goes up here a little bit. Yeah.
Mhm. Now, one of my members, Bar, wanted to know, what do you really think about Bill as a character?
I think Bill has a good heart, a
Mm.
sharp wit, street, a sharpness to him that came from growing up in what would be considered a harsh environment, like being the way he was treated with his dad. It hardened him, so it made him this galvanized person, but with jagged edges.
Mhm.
Instead of instead of a clean blade, he's like a saw, a little bit.
Okay.
And I think Bill is damaged by that, and Bill has, it's like his roots. It's like I'm 54,
Mhm.
Timon. Just say if Bill is in his late 40s and Bill is a tree, you have 48 years of roots down
Mhm.
into the soil. And it doesn't matter. You would need it would take a massive amount of work to completely uproot that tree. And even if you did completely uproot it, to tear away the roots that made him who he is takes away his origins. So Bill has to now find a way to perpetually cultivate his roots in a way that are not further damaging to his life and the lives of those that he loves and that he's around. Bill is a hurt man that has not dealt
Mhm.
with hurt, but he's learning how to deal with
Y In a conversation Bill had with Ted,
it. Mhm.
it was revealed that Bill knew about this baby before anybody.
Mhm.
The thing that I found interesting about that is that Ted was the one that was touted to be like the good guy, the good son-in-law. And Bill was, this troublemaker type guy. And for a second, it sounded like Bill had just a little bit of jealousy about the treatment that Ted got. But what I found interesting about that is that even though Bill had this secret of Ted's, he never revealed it in order to make Ted look smaller.
Yeah, Bill is not a monster.
Hmm.
He's he wants to be treated. the way that he sees other people are treated because of, that's what he wants. Doesn't always know how to go about getting that treatment. Not it doesn't service Bill. It doesn't do Bill any good to out Ted, you
Mm.
know, because that's just, I mean, he knows, but for him to know and not say anything, I mean, in Bill's mind, why go and destroy a marriage? Because Bill wasn't this angel either,
Right.
cheating on Danny, this woman, that woman, I mean, you never really saw much of it, but they talk about it in the story. But Bill, had his philandering ways too. He just didn't have, a child outside of his marriage. Not yet, I
Mm.
guess. I haven't heard that.
Mm.
So.
Okay. Wouldn't that be
I'm
there?
not giving any hints.
There's so much. No, I know. I don't even ask about the hints thing because I know you guys can't give them.
Yeah.
But there's so many things about Bill that we don't know. Actually, Bill's background is almost as murky as Haley's. We
Mhm.
know. I'm like, where's his mother? Okay, he talked about his father. Is he still here? Where did Bill go to school?
Yeah.
Because I know Nicole went to Tougaloo, but I as I
Well,
like to say, but we don't know much about Bill.
Bill went to Banneker University. It's not a
Oh,
real
Banneker.
university.
Okay. Uh-huh.
In the story, Bill's mother has passed away, and Bill's
Okay.
father, he's estranged from his dad, but his dad
Mm.
is still alive. I think. I don't think
Mm.
it's established that his dad is gone. His dad is still alive, as far as I know. But yeah,
Okay.
but you don't know much about Bill, which it makes it more enigmatic, and
Mhm.
to kind of see, like, there was a scene where Bill and Vernon had a conversation in Bill's living room where he said to him, "I know who I am. I know who you made me." And that was a moment of expression of how much hurt he's been dealing with, because you all, according to Bill, you brought me in,
Right.
you made me do certain things to be
Right.
a part of this unit, this family, this empire, and then
Mhm.
you criminalize me and you
Right.
vilify me for it,
Right.
and you blame me for things. And I think sometimes with a person who's already damaged, who's being blamed and berated and belittled and mistreated and disregarded and disrespected and dismissed, it can send them off the rails a little bit,
I'm sure.
you know. But Bill is, I was trying to find a better word. He's not just hurt, he's healing. And sometimes healing hurts.
Mhm.
Like, I've
Mhm.
had Achilles tendon surgery. And when I tell you,
Yeah.
the accident hurt far less than the healing did,
Mhm.
because
I
it takes more work.
I think this is why people jump into relationships after another one because they don't wanna deal with the hurt that comes from
Mhm.
healing from, losing somebody or relationship, and you need space, you need
Yeah,
time in
you
order for
need time.
that to
Yeah.
happen. Differently from any other characters that you've gotten to play, Bill is a character you get to sit with for a really long time and
Mhm.
build out, very differently.
Yeah.
So, h what are some of the things that you're I don't know if you can say this, but I'm just thinking, what are some of the things that maybe you're looking forward to building out in Bill's character? And do you get choices in those kind of things?
No, well, not, I mean, I get acting choices, but as far as the story goes, I just let the writers tell the story. But what I would like to see is, um, what made Bill who he is. Who are his friends? Where is he from? Where is his dad? How would Bill interact if Bill's father was introduced to the show? I mean, with Bill and his father interacting, I should say, because I guess that's going to happen at some time soon. I don't know, maybe. But if Bill's dad were brought into the picture where Bill and his father were interacting, I think that would be very telling to the audience. That's why he's like this. Certain things
Mhm.
that he says to his father, certain things that his father says to him, certain reactions that you see Bill have when talking to this man. You might see that little boy come back. You might see Bill get a little aggressive. You may see him fearful. You may see a side of Bill that you haven't seen before. And I would like to explore the things that even the audience doesn't know, because
Mhm.
it would be new to me as an actor and new to the audience, watching the character. do things that and be a way that they haven't seen yet, and they would have an understanding as to why they have more of a reasoning. I'd like to see that. I'm curious about. I've been curious about it. Like, what makes this guy tick? Why is he like this?
Hmm.
You know.
Yeah. Those are many of the things that we wonder, like what really makes Bill feel loved? Why does he choose what he does,
Mhm.
move the way that he does? One thing I know is that he loves his daughters
Yeah.
immensely, because in the moment early on when Naomi was outside and she said, I like she was like, I hate you, I'm not talking to you again, or something like this, that she said, like, you're gone to me. And that
Mm,
he was able to build back from that. I just think that, not that I'm saying Bill is a good guy, because I'm not saying he's completely a good guy, but I
right.
think that there's more to Bill than what meets the eye.
Yeah, there are more layers to be pulled back, and I'm excited to see where that goes because I've been doing my best to show different sides of Bill, who he interacts with. I mean, you see how he is with Andre compared to Ted, who compared to Danny, and even with how he interacts with Naomi compared to Chelsea. How he interacts with Vernon and Anita. He's got all these different connections. The way he speaks when he's with Joey is
Hmm.
different.
It's different. Yeah.
It's like I can talk. We got two killers in the room, literally, so we can talk,
Hmm.
and I don't have to
Hmm.
worry about judgment from him because it's not that there's not an attachment. My history is not with him. My hurt did not start with him. I'm just a guy who has something in common with this guy, and we just happen to be in the same situations with each other. So, it's like you got two basketball players who know how to play.
Hmm.
We didn't come up together, but we know the game and we know how to play with each other. So it's like that kind of dynamic with Bill and Joy. But with Bill, like you said, what you mentioned earlier, um, like what makes him tick.
Hmm.
I really want that to be explored. Just to jump back to that for a second, because a lot of people still don't understand why Bill does some of the stuff that he does. Why can't
Hmm.
he figure out what's going on with
With
Haley?
Haley, yeah. I
Why is
think he doesn't wanna see it. I think
yeah,
Bill's pride doesn't wanna see that, because I done
100%.
jumped all out there and did all this, and
Yep.
in fact, I think this is what I think. I think if Bill finds out, that Bill would rather keep it quiet than prosecute her, so that no, or something like that.
I will say this, I won't speak on it,
Mhm,
but like you did say, I won't speak on what's going to happen, but of course I can. But like you just said, Bill is like, I went through all of this stuff. I'm not trying to be made to look like a fool.
mm-mm,
If it's like, Bill is like a baby raccoon.
mhm,
When baby raccoons are afraid, they cover their eyes.
mhm.
If I don't see it, that
That
danger's
that is
not
not
there.
happening, right?
What they're talking about, and he understands that what he did was wrong in the beginning. You start dating your daughter's friend, and
Right.
then you cheat on her,
Mhm,
on your daughter's mother with your friend, and then you marry her, and then you move her into the same neighborhood. Like, man, bro, what is up with that?
yeah.
So and
Bill,
to do all of that, and then to find out that this is what's going on,
he ain't gonna like it.
pride and the ego and the shame and that amalgam of all of that negativity. Bill can't.
Mhm,
I can't take that. I'm not a loser. I don't lose. You can't pull one over on me. I'm nobody's fool. But
mhm.
actually, you are, brother.
Sean B wanted to know, was there a scene or a moment where you really felt you locked in with Bill?
There have been a lot of them.
Okay.
There was one scene where Bill was talking to Anita during the
Mhm,
cancer scare. My mother passed away from cancer in 2001. And I remember having a conversation with her. She was trying to do a lot around the house and do all these things on her own. And I said, Mom, I'm here. If
mhm,
you need help, just ask for help. And that pride and that strength was still there. And she wanted to prove that I'm still viable and valuable. And the same thing when Bill looked at Anita in the eyes, he said, people want to help you. Let them.
mm, mhm,
I'm getting the chill now because I told my mother the same thing,
mhm,
sitting across the room from her, just talking to her. Not far across the room, but she was sitting in the chair. She was sitting on the couch. I was sitting in the chair. And but just reversed. It's funny. It's just funny how that's exactly how it happened. Sitting in the living room talking to my mom. And but that one I really locked in because I knew that I could draw from a real place. And I wanted to give that to the audience.
mhm,
I remember there was a time, the scene when I walked in and I see Anita looking sick with the head wrap. And I remember when I saw my mother, um, I won't talk about it, but it
Yeah, I
hit
understand.
me hard. And when I saw it, I kind of turned away like,
Yeah.
if I keep looking at my mother, I'm going to lose it. So I don't know if people caught that in the show, but I did that on purpose because
Mhm.
that's what I went through.
Mhm.
And, even with Vernon, I've never been married, but I've had people in my life who I looked at, not necessarily father figures, because I don't think anyone could replace my dad.
Mhm.
But those guys that would have been like uncles, or as we call them, the OGs in the neighborhood, who um, who can help you, and if they're upset with you or if they mistreat you because you made a mistake, that hurts. And it's not necessarily mistreatment. I misspoke. To The reprimand can sometimes come across as a bit harsh when you've made a mistake. And I've made mistakes, and I've had people that I looked up to kind of, I won't say not held me responsible because I did it, but just there was this level of anger and aggression that I thought was unwarranted, and it was like, well, you see, I'm trying, I don't know what to do. And I felt berated, I felt attacked.
Mhm.
I think that with Bill, with a lot of scenes with Vernon, most of my scenes that I put on my Emmy nomination submission reel were
Mhm.
with him,
With
because
him. Mhm.
it just happened that way. But film, it was Vernon or Danny. I had other scenes, but I wasn't talking to as many characters in depth as I am now when we shot the stuff that I submitted for. But yeah, I like to pull from different parts of my life if I can, because I can remember how that felt. Now, what I do physically to show the audience, I may not know. I may do something in the moment, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, there are times when I've drawn from those moments, and it was really real to me.
I did pick up on that moment. It was something that I talked about, how hurt Bill looked when he walked in and saw Anita. So great job on that, because I definitely picked up on and talked about that. I
Mhm.
really try to, in my recaps, even though I try to make them funny because I do these live every day. So I
Right.
have to come in with a little comedy and, with all of that. But I really try to stick to what's written in the script. Like, I have
Mhm.
my opinions about some things, but I really try to stay close to, because for me, I don't want to get locked in with one thing, because I know this thing is steadily
Yeah.
doing all sorts of stuff. So I'm not getting locked in with no, the only person I told you they can't say nothing about is Bill.
Right on.
And when they do, they gets the video. I'm not
Yeah.
they all laugh about that video. Congratulations on your nomination
Thank
as
you.
best supporting actor. Well deserved. How does it feel?
It's still, I got to be honest, it still hasn't really set in yet. Um, I'm just still just this guy grocery shopping, doing laundry, doing yard work, hanging out with my friends. Um, I don't know. It's a brand new feeling. To say that it feels good. I'll say this. It's I've had bucket lists for a long time. And I remember the first time I went and stood at the edge of the Grand Canyon. Blew my mind. I was like a little kid all over again, because I've been wanting to see this place since I was a little boy.
Hmm.
And I finally went back in 2019, December of 2019. No, it was November of 2019. I completely lost it. I almost cried. I was like, man, I get to see this big, massive, beautiful thing. But it was a new feeling, and I didn't know it wasn't just excitement. It wasn't just happiness. It wasn't just it's about time. It was okay. This the reality of it mixed all of that together. And all the work that I've um, done, the many times I've been told no because I didn't fit, or there were roles that I didn't fit because I was too tall, um, or I was not dark skinned enough for it,
Hmm.
um, or someone with a bigger name came in and they wanted that person.
Yeah.
Which I get it. I get that. That person worked just as hard and they've shown their value, and that value is known. And I had to push and push, and to finally be here, I'm not done pushing. I didn't come this far just to come this far. But I like being on this side of my dreams.
Mm.
You know, and it's like once you're there, you're like, okay, this is new,
Mm.
and I don't want to put a word or an adjective, if you will, to it just yet because I don't know. It's like a new language, and I'm hearing it for the first time, and I need an interpreter, and that interpreter or that interpretation hasn't happened yet. I know what I'm feeling. I just can't describe it. But it's on the good side. I just can't just say, "Oh, I feel good about it." It's a lot.
I
It's a
know
lot.
it's got to be in thinking back to the beginning of it. You're like, what?
Yeah,
I did what?
yeah. And three years ago, you wouldn't have convinced me that I would be a soap opera star nominated for an Emmy. What? And
Yeah.
here I am. So that's because this. I mean, acting was a part of my plan, but daytime wasn't really a part of my plan. I wanted to do like action and zombie stuff. Like I'm a fanatic with post-apocalyptic things.
Hmm.
Um, so that's what I wanted to go for. And this was offered. I said, well, let's go. And it's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. But to be here and have accomplished what I have and to be nominated, it's surreal. It hasn't really. I don't know how to describe it. I hope that helps anyone who's wondering how it feels. But I can't describe it just yet. When I can, I will let you guys know. But right now, it's so.
You'll have a chance to let us know. You're gonna win.
Oh, hey, thank you. Hey, I
You're gonna
love
get.
that.
Who else they gonna give it to?
Hey, listen, man, that's a cool talent pool out there, man. There's other guys in
Uh,
the conversation, so hats off to everybody who's in the conversation, who was nominated, and I guess we'll see October 30th.
I don't know if I missed you saying this. Is your mom still living?
No, she
No.
passed away in
Oh,
2020.
oh,
Sorry, 2001.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
she
hear that.
didn't get to see in person. I didn't get to, hug her like with my dad. My dad used to have viewing parties with his friends and neighbors.
Really?
Yeah,
So, what do you think your parents would be saying right now about this whole situation with this Emmy nomination?
well, both my parents are gone, unfortunately. My father,
Mhm.
he loved it. He was very proud of me. My mother, she was proud of the things that I'd done prior to acting because she saw the few things that I had done, that, modeling. I'd done a couple of little small commercials and things like that. She saw that. But as far as like with the film and television and daytime, she didn't get to check that out. So I think that she would be proud of me because I would always speak about my dreams and my desires and my goals and what I wanted. I would even tell my older siblings, my oldest brother, his nickname is Tuffy, and he would say, "Man, you were this tenacious little dude. Man, you get on my nerves. Like you set your mind to something and you just go." And I'm like, that's just how I was. And
Wow.
if I wanted it, I was going after it. And I think that they would be. I think I know my dad was proud, and I'm pretty sure my mother would be because she's like, my baby said it. I told both my
Wow.
parents, I said the Durrett name is going to be known around the world. You watch. So
Well, you did that.
I did
You
that,
did that.
man.
Before I let you out of here, my cousin wanted to know about your furniture making, which is beautiful, the pieces that I've
Oh,
seen.
thank you.
How did you get the furniture making?
I used to go on these jobs with my dad: plumbing work, electrical work, carpentry, putting up drywall, running wires, setting pipes with, like the bathroom or the toilet or the pipe in the house. And I learned how to work with tools early on. And I'm also an artist. And I just natural. I wasn't trained to draw or paint. It's just natural for me. I took art in high school, but because that's what I liked, and I was already good at it. But I just one day I said, I want to do some different things, and I just decided to just
Mhm.
start creating stuff. And that idea came. I knew what I needed to get. I knew what tools I needed already. And, like with the torches and the stains and the sanders and the rotary tools, like all these, I already knew what I needed. So I just gathered everything and I just got to work.
So might we one day in the future have a space where we're coming to look at your furniture and putting it in homes, or what you want to do with it?
Maybe because I mean, that's not all I do. With my schedule,
Yeah,
it's very
yeah. No,
challenging
I meant in the far
Yeah,
future.
I mean, there may be. I mean, there's some things I have a company website, trademark stuff that I've been working on behind the
Okay.
scenes. So that stuff has been happening. I've just been very quiet about it. But this work is very tedious. It's not like it's coming off an assembly line. So, and having a workshop the size that I need, I don't have that here at my house. But I have my garage and I have my workspace. But the mess that I need to make, it needs to be made outside when I do this
Okay.
kind of work.
Yeah.
So one
Yeah.
day, I'm pretty sure people will get to come and see my work, and someday I plan to have it. And I mean, some of my work is in someone's house already.
Okay.
Yeah, a couple places that I just, my woodwork, the wooden portraits, or the benches that I made, or the tables I made, things like that. They're in some places.
Sounds good. Now, where's the real Timon online? Because people throw up these fake pages. I know you're on Instagram. Are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is so confusing to me. I so much going on, but I got to look at my handle, what my Facebook profile is. Okay, yeah, it's this one. Okay, can you see that? Is that?
I think the light's got it.
Oh shoot. Okay,
The light has it. Yeah.
let me turn it down a little bit. Can you see it now? Oh wait.
Oh wait, don't show them. Look, don't show them no good stuff. Okay.
You see like this right here, and then my face with the tuxedo shirt.
Okay. How many people are on there? Then that's the way they would know.
It's only, I don't know why it's only 4,500 friends.
4,005. Okay. All right.
Because
So
I
at
don't
least
really
they'll
use
know. Because
Facebook.
people will throw pages up and pretend that they're you.
Oh no, there's a bunch of them. There's
I'm
a bunch
sure.
of them right now. My Instagram has my blue check. I guess the Facebook, since they changed things from Facebook to Meta, they took the blue checks off. But I'll say this to people. Excuse me. There was a woman who reached out to me and said, "Thank you for letting us know." This was a while back when I let them know they are fake accounts. She had set up a date with who she thought was me. And I think I forgot what day it was, but she said, I thought I was supposed to be meeting up with you on a date this Friday. And someone else reached out to me on Instagram in direct messages and said, "Hey," she was talking about someone. She gave someone some money. She thought she was giving me money, and I was just like, "No, I don't need your money."
Wow.
But that people were charging these people money to talk to me, or to meet up with me, or to get some sort of merch or paraphernalia from me. And I'm just here to let everybody know, Miss Jen, I don't talk to strangers like that. I'm not asking you for money.
I know that's
I'm not
right.
trying to meet up with anyone for dates.
No.
Instagram is Timon Kyle Durrett. My Facebook is Timon Kyle Durrett. My Instagram is Timon K Durrett with the blue check. I'm not really on a lot of other stuff like X,
the TikTok and all of that stuff.
No, so if they're doing all these pages, because there was one, one fake page, and it had I think people can make up these how many views something got, but it was like tens of thousands of views, but you only got 200 friends. What is that? Like that doesn't make sense. So again, if anyone's been reached out to setting up a date or meeting up or asking for merchandise, or if someone's asking you for money, it is not me. It is not, has not, and will not be me. I'm not asking you for money.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense. But God bless their heart. Yeah. But I'm about to send Timon some money. He need a couple $1,000.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I hope they got their money back. But if anyone's listening that has happened to, don't be sending anybody that look like me your money, because I'm not asking for it. I don't need it.
Well, congratulations again on your nomination.
Thank you.
We're so proud of the role that what you're doing with the role of Bill. We hope you continue to do that for a long time, because we enjoy it. Timon, I would be remiss if I didn't show you what happens to people when they say something about Bill around here. It's silly, but you want to see it.
Let me see.
Say something else about Bill. Say something. Did I tell you not to say nothing else about Bill? I'm gonna knock the stuffing out of you. Knock the stuffing out. I done told you don't say nothing about Bill over here. Don't say nothing to me about Bill. Say something else. Say something else.
So when they have their things that they over here going, Bill this and Bill that, and I let them talk, and then I just put the video on them.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes you get that disgust that that people want to brush you off. I just think it's just me pulling and tugging on their emotional strings, and
That's right.
if I'm effective in that regard with my performance, then I've done my job.
That's
And
right.
and I know people. It's not that they don't like me, because I see comments. Bill is stupid. He's clueless. He's a jerk. He doesn't deserve anything. And I'm like, good, because I want there to be this roller coaster of emotions, involved. I don't want it to be boring. And I don't take it personally. I keep playing these no good philandering rich dudes. And it's okay, because I'm not that. So
May I ask you one thing before you go?
mhm.
Why do you take the time to do these interviews for these small channels?
And great things come from small things.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. The sequoia tree is one of the largest trees in the world, but it comes from one of the smallest seeds.
Mm-hmm.
But you got this big, massive thing that came from that. You never know what this interview is going to do. Like, you never know. Someone can see something. Someone can see it, and it can inspire them to go and do what I do. And in 15 years down the line, they'll say, why I got into acting? I saw this interview, and Timon said something. It was on this show called the Miss Jen, the Gatekeeper Show, and what you thinking, and all this other stuff. And they come up with all these different things that could be. I mean, my career started with a radio advertisement.
Okay.
So it may be small to you, maybe small to some people, but that small thing could lead to something big.
Mm-hmm.
All it took was for my mother to hear something on the radio for me to be here with you right now. So
that's a nice way to look at that.
yeah.
This conversation turned out to be exactly what I hoped it would be. And I hope you enjoyed it. And maybe one day in the far future you get to come back and we talk about Bill some more and all of that. Because I know some more changes are coming with Bill. I know.
Come on, you're already this thing is fluid as a river, man. It's gonna keep flowing, keep going.
Well, thank you again, and I hope you have a fabulous day. And I'm so appreciative. You just don't know.
Oh, thank you too, and I hope your day is fantastic, and I hope the weather is eased up on y'all out there, because
not till Monday.
Not till Monday. Oh well,
not till
stay
Monday.
safe.
That's what they're saying. Not till Monday.
I hope your lights stay on.
Me too. Yeah. All right. Have a great day, Timon.
You too. Peace.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, you guys, that's it. What you guys think about the interview? I will take a minute to get a couple of your comments before we get ready to get out of here. I really enjoyed that. And I know that you guys did too, that you all were very thrilled about him coming over. Let me put your comments up here so that I can see a couple of them. All right. So I was nervous, you all. I don't know if it's show, but see, I try, as an entertainer, I'm not allowed to be nervous on stage. She don't do that. Afterwards, I can fall over and be like, oh my God. Belinda Hill says, Timon, thank you so much for taking time to spend with us. Y'all, that was great, Miss Jen. Miss Kiki says, and KB Mommy says, you did another amazing job. Thank you very much. TJ, wait, what is it? JTB HIB says that went perfect. Thank you guys so much. Well, you guys, I'm going to get ready to get out of here because Beyond the Gates will be on at 1:00. So that means that I got to be over here taking notes. Hopefully I get a chance to come back and give you guys your review. But if I don't give it to you, you'll be all right. We'll talk about it another time. All right. And so I hope you guys are having a great day. And if not, remember there is still some time left. Why not see what you can do to turn it into one anyway? And I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Okay, that's it for today. They're closing the gate, so I've got to close this door until tomorrow. See you then. Bye-bye.